Hi, welcome to Talking and Reading from Japan. I'm your host, Hidemi Woods. I read episodes from the books I wrote and talk about the episodes or anything that pops up in my mind. I hope you have fun with me. Today, I'll read one episode from one of my memoirs that titled The Girl in Kyoto. This is one of my the books I wrote, and the all books I wrote are memoirs, so every episode is my actual experiences. Today's episode is called Extremely Bad Luck. This is about the fortune slip that my grandfather drew one New Year's Day. Extremely bad luck. Besides small shrines in the neighborhood, there is a big tutelary shrine for the area where I grew up. My father pays a visit there every month, and on New Year's Day, which is the biggest holiday in Japan, all members of my family, except for my grandmother, used to go there every year. It also had a short stone pillar on which my grandfather's full name was carved, because he was one of the biggest contributors. For him, it was the most important event of the year, as he believed my family was once a powerful landowner of the area, and he was a parish representative. That pride would transform him into an excessively generous person from a miser. He would pay extra for a special ceremony. While others prayed outside the main building, the costly ceremony package led us inside and let us sit on the floor in front of the object of worship that the deity dwelt. A priest included my grandfather's name and our address in his resonant prayer, and swung a tuft of paper above our heads. Then he would be led into a hall where low individual tables were set on the tatami floor. The chief priest of the shrine would wait for us there, and we sat in the pecking order. The closer to the chief priest you sat, the more important in the family you were. So the order was my grandfather, my father, me, the supposed successor, my mother, and my sister. Sake offered to the shrine was served in a huge gold cup, and we would sip by turns. My grandfather and the chief priest chatted, and the priest would mention how much I had grown up, and my family's future was secure with me. Before leaving the shrine, my grandfather would buy a fortune slip for the New Year's luck. He shook a box of wooden sticks, on each of which had a number. One stick came out from a hole of the box, and the number decided the slip. One year, his slip turned out to be extremely bad luck. He got furious and said to a salesperson, "It's heartless to give me extremely bad luck on New Year's Day." While my father tried to calm him down, he insisted to directly tell the chief priest extremely bad luck wasn't acceptable considering how much money he had spent for this shrine. My father persuaded him to leave the slip tied on a twig of a tree. Although he had a quiet year without mishap, he had complained about it to the chief priest every year since. That was today's episode. I lived with my grandparents until I left home when I was 21 years old. My grandfather was quite a character. He was a dictator in a way of a family because he was the one who controlled the whole family, and the rest of us served him obediently. The rest of the family were my parents, my sister, and me, and my grandmother. We were all obedient servers for my grandfather because he acted like a king of the family, and he held a tight rein for the family, so he told us what to do and for the everyday life, and we couldn't say no to him. It was a big, strict, powerful rule of the family. None of my family members would say no to him or object his doing. We were all just yes men and women, yes persons to him. So I hated my grandfather so much when I was little because I thought living like that was extremely, really, really unfair. And, there was no right as a human being or a citizen in my family. Just obeying my grandfather was a norm of my daily life, and I didn't like it at all. So sometimes I broke the rule and told my grandfather about what I wanted to do. Of course, he objected. He never granted my petition, but I tried to express my desires or my feelings to him. I just felt the need to say a different opinion to him. And so I knew he thought I was strange in the family, because every now and then I try to object. I try to complain to him, and nobody else would do that. And he was also a very, very stingy man. I'm cheap, I'm stingy, but he wasn't the league of my own. He was well beyond my league. So I think my cheapness surely came from the days with my grandfather. My grandfather told me, raised me as a cheap person, I'm sure. And so it was so strange to him suddenly to become excessively generous when it comes to contribution to a shrine. It was a big shrine that was supposed to be a guardian of the area where I lived. So my father visited there on the first day of every month, and the entire family of mine, except for my grandmother, visited there on the New Year's Day before dawn. And it was my family's big custom. And so after midnight, the New Year's Day arrived. We got the New Year's traditional treat together around at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then about 3 or 4 a.m. we set off for a visit to that shrine. And because my grandfather contributed a large sum of money to the shrine, he as a big contributor, he believed that he couldn't pray just outside and go back. He needed the special ceremony as a parish leader of the area, the biggest contributor. So he paid a lot for the special ceremony every year. So it's as a child, it was really weird to see him to transform into a generous person who usually was very, very stingy and a complete miser. And after that annual transformation, he, every year, that was a custom that he would draw a slip of fortune to that slip would foretell the entire year that just arrived. So it was very important for my grandfather to draw a good one, because the new year, the whole new year depended on that slip for him. And one year, the number he picked that was carved on a small stick of wood, and he told the salesperson, told the clerk that number, and the clerk handed him the fate slip to him. And he exclaimed, "No, no, 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 no," because that slip said extremely bad luck in capital letters. And my grandfather almost nearly fainted with those letters. And he just rushed back to the clerk, and he couldn't receive this. It couldn't be. But the clerk said, "The God told you so." It was so funny. He was desperate there, but I couldn't help giggling looking at him. It was like a comic strip for me. And while I was giggling, he was just yelling and shouting and asking my father what to do, and my father was trying to calm him down. And that scene was tattooed in my brain. So funny. You should have seen that. And that year, despite that slip, we lived fine. The family didn't experience something extremely bad. I think that year was eventful because I don't remember something bad happened to my family. But ever since my grandfather complained to the chief priest every time he visited the shrine. So he was so persistent. He just couldn't let go that year's fortune. So he kept complaining. But I think after all, I left home when I told him that I want to be a musician instead of succeeding the family. He let me do that. I think he knew me from those days when I kept telling him my objections about his ruling, about his ways to control the family. He knew I would do something different in the future. And so he wasn't shocked at all when he heard my intention. But in the end, because I declined to success the family, my sister didn't success either. And so my family's lineage was cut after more than 1,000 years. So I suspect that slip of extremely bad luck foretold much later fortune. Not that for that year, but later years. The fortune of that far future of my family. If so, that sleep was right. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. I hope you join me here again soon, and you hear me talking about my memoir, my experience. Thanks again. I'm Hidemi Woods. If you like, visit hidemiwoods.com, HIDEMI woods.com, where many links to my materials are available, such as to my other books, my songs, my music, my blogs, my podcast, my SNS, and even my original merchandise I designed. So if you like, visit there. See you again here again. See you here again soon. Until that time, until next time, take care and be well.